The World Cup is football's ultimate family dream. Representing your country on the biggest stage is a privilege few players ever experience, but following in the footsteps of a father who did exactly the same is something even more extraordinary. Playing at a World Cup is the pinnacle of any footballer's career and a source of enormous pride for an entire family. To see both father and son reach the sport's biggest stage is an even rarer achievement, and the 2026 tournament will add 18 new names to that exclusive club. From Erling Haaland and Giuliano Simeone to Luca Zidane, these players are not only chasing their own dreams, but also continuing family legacies written decades earlier. Alf-Inge and Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland was not even born when Norway last appeared at a World Cup in 1998. 4 years earlier, his father, Alf-Inge, featured twice at USA 1994. It is one of the few cases where the son is expected to surpass an already impressive international legacy. Diego and Giuliano Simeone. Giuliano Simeone's breakout season at Atletico Madrid has earned him a place in Argentina's World Cup squad. His father, Diego Cholo Simeone, represented the Albiceleste at 3 editions, making 11 appearances between 1994 and 2002. Zinedine and Luca Zidane. Luca Zidane chose to represent Algeria, allowing him to make his international breakthrough with the Desert Foxes. The Granada goalkeeper is the only one of Zinedine Zidane's 4 sons to follow his father onto the World Cup stage. The French legend played in 3 tournaments, lifting the trophy in 1998 and reaching the final again in 2006. Greg and Sebastian Berhalter. The Berhalters will continue their family story on home soil. Greg represented the United States at the 2002 and 2006 World Cups as a defender, while his son Sebastian has emerged as one of the country's brightest midfield talents after breaking into the senior squad last year. Sergio and Francisco Conceição. Another generation of the Conceição family is ready for football's grandest stage. Juventus winger Francisco Conceição will make his World Cup debut following in the footsteps of his father Sergio, who featured in all 3 of Portugal's group stage matches in 2002. Lee Yul-yong and Lee Tae-seok. Lee Yul-yong was a key figure in South Korea's unforgettable run to the semi-finals in 2002. More than 2 decades later, his son Tae-seok, an adventurous left-back, is ready to write the next chapter in the family's World Cup story. Goran and Alexander Sorloth. The comparison with the Haalands is unavoidable. Goran Sorloth was part of Norway's 1994 squad, while his son Alexander now leads the Scandinavian attack as one of the country's biggest stars. Pablo and Nico Paz. Argentina's rich footballing heritage continues through the Paz family. Pablo Paz represented his country at France 1998, while his son Nico, despite being born in Tenerife, chose to wear the Albiceleste shirt and now prepares for his first World Cup. Brian and Angus Gann. Few father-son duos share the same position. Brian Gann traveled to Italia 90 as Scotland's third-choice goalkeeper, while his son Angus, after being courted by England, opted to represent his family roots and will defend the Scottish goal in 2026. Papi and Mamadou Sarr. Papi Sarr was part of the legendary Senegal side that stunned defending champions France in 2002. His son Mamadou, after progressing through France's youth ranks, ultimately chose to represent the Lions of Teranga. Patrick and Justin Kluivert. 24 years after Patrick Kluivert represented the Netherlands at his only World Cup, his son Justin is ready to carry the Orange attack into a new era. Erik and Christian Thorstvedt. Former goalkeeper Erik Thorstvedt was Norway's #1 at USA 1994. Now it is the turn of his son Christian, an energetic midfielder, to experience football's biggest competition. José Luis and Rodrigo Zalazer. The Zalazer family spans generations. José Luis represented Uruguay at the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, while nearly 4 decades later his son Rodrigo prepares to continue the family tradition. Roberto Gato and Roberto Gatito Fernandez. Paraguayan football has its own father-son goalkeeping dynasty. Roberto Gato Fernandez featured at Mexico 1986, while his son Gatito is set to fulfill his lifelong dream by appearing at the age of 38. Joseph and Anthony Elanga. Joseph Elanga was a member of Cameroon's 1998 World Cup squad. His son Anthony, however, chose to represent Sweden, the country where he was born, extending the family's World Cup legacy under different colors. Vladimir and Nikola Vasilj. Vladimir Vasilj represented Croatia at both the 1998 and 2002 tournaments. His son Nikola now carries the family name into the competition as Bosnia's first-choice goalkeeper. Aldo and Damien Bobadilla. Aldo Bobadilla guarded Paraguay's goal at the 2006 and 2010 World Cups. In 2026, his son Damien will make his own debut, this time as a midfielder. Ahmed and Mustafa Chaber. Egypt's footballing tradition continues through the Chaber family. Ahmed was part of the Pharaohs squad at Italia 90, and now his son Mustafa has the opportunity to follow exactly the same path on the world's biggest stage. The families who already made history. The 2026 World Cup will welcome a new generation of father-son duos, but many famous footballing families have already left their mark on the tournament over the years. Before Haaland, Zidane, and Simeone continue their legacies, these fathers and sons all represented their countries at different World Cups, with another 18 father-son pairings set to be represented at the 2026 World Cup. Football's most exclusive family club is about to grow once